Hello, it is Kelly and welcome to the video on summarizing and note-taking. So summarizing and note-taking are grouped together in classroom instruction that works because they both have to do with synthesizing information. Think about what good notes look like. They don't have every single word in there, but rather the key points. So in order to summarize and take good notes, students actually have to have a really deep understanding of content so that they know what's important enough to include and what's not important so that they can leave it out. Note-taking does have a higher effect size on achievement than simply summarizing, but both are important, and there is not just one correct way to take notes. There'd be many, including webbing, outlining, or mapping. So we all probably already know this as teachers, but it's been a while since I thought about it. I thought this was interesting. Students do need to be taught how to take good notes. You might use not necessarily completely pre-prepared teacher notes, but more like graphic organizers to help guide them through notes or what's important to summarize. It's also important to allow them time to practice with a new note-taking strategy before being expected to apply that new method to new content. And then also it's important to allow them time in class to use and review their notes. You might even have to guide them on how they would use notes that they've taken. And they may need a lot of modeling even on such things as leaving some space in your notes because you might want to add something later. So one feature that we're going to look at today, one app, is Notability. There are tons of note-taking apps. Some are free, some cost more or less. Notability costs $1.99. But the reason we're going to look at it today is because it has an audio recording feature that's kind of like the Live Scribe pen, if you're familiar with that. So let's take a look at where actually I took this note in Notability. But I'm going to go out with my home button so you can see what it looks like. Here it is. That's what the app looks like. I'm going to touch on it and go back in. Now I'm already in a note, so I'm going to touch right here to go back to my library. And I have two subjects. I have science class and welcome. So I've already prepared a few notes in my science class. So I'll show you a few of those. So let's go into why food is a big deal. You have lots of different features in how to take notes. There's handwriting support, you can highlight, erase, you can do text boxes, but what we're going to look at today is the audio recording feature. So one thing that trips up a lot of kids, as we might know, if they were to try to just take notes with no instruction, is that they would try to copy everything that the teacher's saying. So the audio recording is a really nice scaffold to help kids let go of that without being afraid that they're going to miss something. So this isn't just making a recording. It is, as the recording is going, it's syncing up with whatever they're writing or typing. So later on, then the student can touch on any part of what they've written or drawn, and it'll jump right to that point in the audio. So let's have an example of that. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it okay on the video.
To the next 30 years as a time to change the food system. Served on a white linen tablecloth or out of a food. Like how to save our crops, how to...
Did you notice how when I tapped on the different parts of the notes, it jumped in the audio recording to a different place? I was recording like a radio show and doing a little summary of it. So as kids went along, they could touch on the different parts of their notes and go back and hear the whole lecture. They don't have to worry about did they miss something. That's an important tool for some kids. So the way you would make this is you're going to go back to your library and then tap on the new note symbol. Tap on the microphone. It'll start recording. You can see that it's going there. I can make my little notes. This is a note about this, and then I'm going to talk about Valentine's Day. And I can stop when I'm done. Whoops. Then replay. It'll start recording. You can see that it's going there. Valentine's Day. Fantastic. So now you've seen how to use Notability to make a recording that syncs with students' notes so they don't have to be afraid to miss anything. There are tons of other ways to use lots of different note-taking apps on the iPad, so let's discuss how some of those ways are when we get into our discussion section. Thanks for joining.